Hello, this is Mr. Mabry, and we're going to take some notes about genes and chromosomes. Now, to take these notes, you do not need a separate Word document to see what the outline of the notes is, because it's just bullet by bullet going through my slides. I'll make sure from slide to slide you know what to write down and what just to look at and take in. And so here we go. All right, first, let's take a look at these crazy looking squiggly lines. Believe it or not, you are actually looking at pieces of DNA that are found in the nucleus of cells. Each of these pairs are pieces of long strands of DNA found in your cell. Each of you has these, and in fact, if you think back to when we pulled that DNA out of our cheek cells in that DNA extraction lab we did just a few days ago, it looked really gross. It looked super snotty and nasty. But if we could have zoomed in on just one cell's worth of DNA, this is what you would have seen, these funny looking banding patterns. And what these are called, these are known as, is chromosomes. Each of these little things right here are called chromosomes. And that's pretty cool. Females have 23 pairs of chromosomes and males have 23 pairs as well. The difference, as you can see, is in this final pair. For ladies, they have two really long chromosomes at the end called X chromosomes, and for guys, they have one long X, but then they have this puny little Y chromosome that makes them uniquely guys. More on that later. So the first thing I want you to do in your notes is to write down the word chromosome and then to draw this picture underneath. This is what a real chromosome looks like. Extremely zoomed in microscopic picture of it. You can see all these crazy strands of DNA, but this is probably more what it would look like when we draw it. So why don't you pause the video for a second and draw what you see. Okay, I'm assuming you've got your drawing of your chromosome down. Now let's talk more about this DNA that's wound up inside it. Chromosomes are probably best understood as encyclopedias. Now I know you are children of the internet. You probably never had to use one of these in a research project. But I'm hoping you've still seen these around enough that the metaphor is going to stick. The basic definition that you're going to want to write next to your picture is that chromosomes are tightly wrapped up pieces of DNA. And if I could underline only one word in that definition, it would be DNA. That's what chromosomes are. Extremely long strands of DNA wound up together in that X-like shape. And the reason I think an encyclopedia is a good metaphor, and you don't need to write this line down, but you're going to want to write the next couple lines down, is that an encyclopedia is exactly what a chromosome is. If a chromosome contains a bunch of DNA, and if DNA is a bunch of information, then that's what, like the letter A, see I got the A encyclopedia right here. Everything I want to know about the letter A, for those of you who have never looked at an encyclopedia before, is in here. I could look up info on architecture, and there's a huge section on architecture. Or maybe I could look up a section on astronomy. Yeah, astronomy. Anything having to do with the letter A is here in this dictionary, which is a lot like a chromosome. A chromosome has all this information packed on it, just like an encyclopedia. And so if you think about the encyclopedia as the chromosome, then the text inside would be representative of DNA, all of these individual letters. And you're going to learn in high school that DNA is an alphabet. In fact, it's a funny alphabet that has only 4 letters in it, and A's and T's and G's and C's. And by putting those letters in all sorts of combinations, we can create a blueprint for the human body. Awesome! Now, let's talk about some numbers. Let's get down and dirty with the numbers. You're going to want to write down that there are 46 total chromosomes. There's one set of 23 from mom and one set of 23 from dad. And so when your parents make a baby, mom contributes 23 chromosomes, dad contributes 23, and when you put them together, that makes the unique person that you are. Now, plants and animals don't have the same number of chromosomes. I'm going to get ready to show you a chart of different numbers of chromosomes to show you how different plants and animals are. So let's write down this sentence right here, and then for the next couple slides, let's just take in the experience. Here we go. If you look here, here are some different plants. We've got rye and maize and wheat and potato and tobacco, and look at all these different chromosomes. I mean, look how weird this is. Potatoes have 48 chromosomes. Potatoes have 2 more chromosomes than us? That's so crazy. Now this over here is telling you how many parents it takes to make up those plants. See, where I have, here's 1 set from one parent and 1 set from another, and maize has a mommy. Whoops, this X is the mommy set and this is the daddy set. What you should be confused about, and you don't have to write this down, but it is sort of weird, is, wait a sec, this means 1 mom, 2 moms, 3, 1 dad, 2 dads, 3 dads, 6 parents? That's weird. Now, I want to show you a picture of a set of chromosomes, and you'll see there's a total number of 10. Can you remember from the other slide who had, let's see, 10 chromosomes? But wait, there's 10 from one parent and 10 from another, so 20 chromosomes total. That would be corn. Cool, 20 chromosomes. Now let's take a look at some animals. Let's see what sticks out. Okay, a rat's got 44. That's sort of cool. Gorilla's got 48. That's really close to us. A dog has 78? Why would it have more than we do? And up there's humans. And oh my gosh, look at this fish. It has so many chromosomes. Does that mean a kingfisher is smarter than me? Well, not exactly. Look at all these chromosomes. Now, you'll notice there's way more than we have. There's 38 pairs right there, plus the last chromosomes, or 39 pairs. So that's more than humans that have only 23 pairs. But notice how much shorter they are. Look at these little guys. A little tiny chromosome here and a little tiny chromosome here. They're super tiny. So even though they have more in number, we actually have more DNA because our chromosomes are so much more longer. So who is this guy? Well, this is you're my friends, a cute little, where's that puppy? Where is he? Up there he is. So that's a dog. A dog has 39 sets. Let's look at another set. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 sets. So that's less than us. Now who has 20 sets? It's the cute, up there he is, cute little mouse. Okay, so back to human chromosomes. Now, in each of these chromosomes, unique information is stored on each one. So like on this first chromosome right here, that's sort of like my A encyclopedia. Okay, so it's unique information, and this is the A encyclopedia from mom. So this would be mom's number 1, and this one over here is dad's number 1, which means the second encyclopedia is sort of like Encyclopedia B, and it's got a unique set of information. And here's my B encyclopedia from dad, and here's my B encyclopedia from mom. So you see 23 pairs of chromosomes. Each parent is giving me 1 of these chromosomes. So I have 2 complete sets, each with unique information. Now I know you're thinking, Mr. Mabry, am I missing something in the notes? Am I supposed to be writing something down? No, we're just taking it in right now. And we're going to focus at this moment on the fact that that last chromosome is the only one that should look different between guys and girls. Girls have the 2 X's, guys only get 1 X, and then they get a little Y right there. Now, we're going to focus in on why is that? What's so unique about the Y? Well, let's write down this phrase in our notes. Chromosome pair number 23 is known as the sex chromosome, or the chromosome that determines what sex you are. XX for a woman and XY for a man. Now, a funny way I've seen people describe what that could mean is, the question is, well, what is it on the Y chromosome that makes you a male? And some jokester put this up a couple classes back, I found, and I thought it was pretty funny. Now, this one is actually legitimate. There's this part of the Y chromosome called the testes determining factor that makes you a man. And that's the one that determines you have testicles instead of ovaries, and accounts for all the other characteristics that contribute to you being a man. But the rest of these are just fictitious parts of the Y chromosome that somebody found pretty funny. The inability to see or hear something obvious, a lot of self-confidence, addiction and death and destruction, so on and so forth. I'll let you read through and laugh at your leisure. Now, the final part of these notes we need to conclude on is the different sections of chromosomes. And those different sections are known as genes. So in your notes, let's write down the word genes, and let's define genes as sections of chromosomes that code for a single trait. And what I'd like you to do is go ahead and sketch this picture right here off to the side of your notes, and draw those banding patterns in, these different colored. Now, I know you want to have different colors, just make some light and some dark. And these genes are those little tiny sections of each chromosome. Notice some sections are really skinny, like this one, but then some are pretty thick, like this one right here. And the reason why is because different instructions require different length of DNA to communicate to the rest of the body how to do them. So for instance, genes are things that code for things like eye color, height, blood, etc. And you'll want to write that down. And I think the best way to understand this is, again, to go back to the encyclopedia reference. Like if I look in Encyclopedia A, I might find a section on, okay, this is a section on Africa. Now Africa would be like a big gene in the encyclopedia. There's a lot of pages on Africa, so it's going to take up a lot of space. However, if I flip through here, I'm looking at, where's a small one? Okay, I just found, this is Alfred. Where are you? Here we go. This is Alfred the Great. Now, he might have been great, but he only gets one page in the encyclopedia. So he's like a really skinny gene. It's still unique, and it's still in the encyclopedia, but he only gets one page. In the same way, blood type might be a really simple gene and require just a little bit of DNA. But something like height or how to build your heart, that might require a really long section right here. And so I would conclude our notes with adding this to the top of your notes where you wrote about chromosomes being encyclopedias, and you wrote encyclopedia is a chromosome, and the text inside is DNA, or genetic information. Why don't you go back to the top and add, and articles in the encyclopedia are like genes. Okay, that's your introduction to DNA and to genes and to chromosomes. The next thing we'll talk about is what happens when we don't have the right number of chromosomes? What does that do to our bodies? Thanks for listening.